They tell you, be true to your feelings. Cry, get angry, say it all. But does that truth help you win? No. It only makes you predictable, easy to manipulate. Real strength is not in denying emotion. It is in holding it like a sharp blade, sheathed, drawn only when needed. This is how emotion becomes a weapon. This is the art of control. Law 1. Never let emotion decide. Anger is fast. Fear is faster. Both push you into action before you see the whole board. That's how people lose. Not from lack of strength, but from letting feelings steer. You don't stop being human. You don't stop feeling. But you refuse to act in the first wave. You take the hit. You breathe once. You pause. A second is enough. The moment you wait, the storm passes and you can see again. That pause is where power lives. Most people think reacting is real. They shout, they cry, they argue, they call it honesty. But honesty is cheap when it hands over your control. You want to be the man who delays, who thinks before striking. That stillness makes you unreadable. Others don't know what button works on you, and unpredictability is the first layer of strength. Apply it everywhere. In business, don't send the angry reply. In love, don't beg when panic rises. In conflict, don't rush to prove yourself. Wait. Study, then choose. The warning is simple. Emotions are signals, not commands. Treat them like smoke from a fire. Information, not the fire itself. If you let them decide, you're already someone else's pawn. Law 2. Detachment is clarity, not coldness. People think if you detach, you stop caring. They call it heartless. But detachment is not the death of feeling. It is the sharpening of vision. When you cling too tightly, you panic when things slip. When you stand apart, you see the whole field. The storm comes. The storm leaves. You are still there. That is clarity. Detachment is not indifference. It is control. It lets you care with precision, not chaos. The attached man drowns when the tide shifts. The detached man adjusts. He bends without breaking. He survives. So you train yourself to observe emotion like weather, not as identity. You are not anger. You are watching anger pass. You are not despair. You are watching despair move through. That distance keeps you steady when others collapse. Apply it daily. In work, when the deal fails, don't panic. Step back. See the opening that comes next. In love, when affection fades, don't beg. Hold still. See if loss is only the path to gain. Remember the warning. The world owes you nothing. Not fairness, not love, not recognition. Detach from that belief, and you become immune to disappointment. Clarity always beats emotion, and detachment is how you find it. Law 3. The one who shows less controls more. People who explode are easy to read. Anger makes them predictable. Affection makes them exposed. Pain makes them controllable. The one who shows less always holds the leash. Stillness is a mirror. Others project themselves into it. They reveal what they try to hide. And you stand untouched. This is psychological leverage. When someone shouts, stay calm. Their noise makes them look small. Your silence makes you look in command. When someone rushes with love, slow down. They begin to chase. Mystery grows where you reveal little, and mystery always carries power. Apply this everywhere. In arguments, don't fight back with fire. Ask questions. Let them burn themselves out. In seduction, don't rush forward. Create distance. Let them fill it. In leadership, remain composed. When they panic, you analyze. When they tremble, you watch. People fear what they can't predict, and the man who shows less becomes the center. Others spin around him, like storms around a still axis. Remember the warning. Control is not in the loudest voice. It is in the calmest presence. Law 4. Distance creates desire. Clinging makes you cheap. Distance makes you scarce. And what is scarce is always valued. The man who begs is ignored. The man who withholds is remembered. Neediness pushes people away. Detachment pulls them closer. It creates space for imagination. And imagination is stronger than words. They start asking questions. Why isn't he trying harder? Why doesn't he need me? Silence becomes mystery. Restraint becomes depth. Others project onto you. They see what they want to see, not what you give away. Apply this in love. Don't chase when you feel fear. Hold back. Let them move forward. In work, don't over-explain. Deliver less talk, more result. In friendship, don't flood attention. Be selective. Scarcity builds value. But here is the warning. Distance must be paired with presence. Too far, and they forget you. Too close, and they dismiss you. The balance is simple. Respond, but don't chase. Show, but don't pour out. Give less than expected, and you become the thing they can't stop reaching for. Law 5. Mirror, don't absorb. People trust what looks like themselves. If they feel anger, and you reflect a trace of it, they believe you understand. If they feel joy, and you echo it lightly, they think you share their soul. But you don't. You stay centered. You mirror, not absorb. This is how doors open. They see themselves in you, and in that reflection, they hand you their trust. You don't need to agree fully, just enough to let them lower their guard. You nod, you listen, you repeat a word they said, and suddenly, they lean closer. Apply this in negotiation. Match tone, but stay calmer. Reflect their worry, but with steadiness. They feel heard, and you gain time. In conflict, mirror frustration without exploding. They release more than they should. In love, echo affection without drowning in it. They give more, thinking you're safe. Remember the warning. Mirroring is a tool, not a transformation. If you fully take on their state, you lose yourself. You must remain still inside, even as you play the part outside. That's the secret. They open. You stay closed, and the lock they thought they turned never touched you. Law 6. Use outbursts as windows. When people lose control, they show you who they are. Anger rips the mask off. Fear slips out in fragments. Panic shouts the truth louder than calm ever could. Most see chaos. You see a map. The louder they get, the more they reveal. Every word is a clue. Every slip is leverage. You don't need to argue. You don't need to fight back. Stay still. Listen. File it all away. Because outbursts are not noise. They are confessions. Apply this in conflict. Let them rant. Watch the contradictions fall out of their mouth. If they defend too much, it means they are guilty. If they shout too long, it means they are weak. In business, let rivals show temper. The room will see them as reckless. You, as the calm alternative. In love, let jealousy spill. It tells you more than questions ever will. Remember the warning. Never silence a fool in anger. Let him speak. He is building the rope you will use later, and you never had to lift a hand. Law 7. Appear warm, choose cold. You don't need to be a machine. You don't need to look like stone. People trust warmth. They follow kindness. But power lives beneath the mask. You smile, you nod, you speak with care. But every choice is made by logic, not feeling. This is the balance. Publicly, you seem open. Privately, you remain calculated. In negotiation, you show empathy. But the deal you strike is cold, precise. In love, you give affection, but never at the cost of your ground. You listen, you care, but you don't beg. This contrast is magnetic. People feel close, yet never fully touch you. They think you are soft, but you never bend. Apply this daily. At work, agree with their concerns. Then move to the offer that favors you. With friends, be generous in words, but guarded in commitments. Remember the warning. If you appear too cold, no one follows. If you act only warm, you get consumed. Keep the mask gentle. Keep the mind ruthless. That is how you disarm without surrender. Law 8. Train the body first. Emotions don't just live in the mind. They live in the body. Hands shake, breath shortens, eyes dart away, and the world reads you before you speak. If your body betrays you, nothing else matters. So you train it. Stillness under pressure. No fidget, no twitch, just calm. Breath becomes your weapon. Slow, deep, deliberate, it steadies the voice, it clears the mind. When insult comes, when rejection stings, your body wants to react. You rehearse, not reacting. You imagine the attack. You play it in your head. And in practice, you sit still. Over time, the body learns. Panic is optional. Chaos outside does not mean chaos inside. Apply this every day. In meetings, don't shift in your chair. In arguments, keep your breathing steady. In love, don't flinch when silence comes. Remember the warning. If your body is easy to read, you are easy to break. If your body stays unreadable, you become impossible to conquer. Law 9. Consistency builds authority. Unstable emotion kills respect. One day calm, the next day rage. No one trusts a storm that changes shape each hour, but steady presence creates weight. Calm that repeats becomes power. People start leaning on you. They breathe easier when you walk in, because they know your state will not change. This is authority, not shouted, not demanded, but felt. Apply it everywhere. At work, don't mirror their panic. Stay measured. They will follow your pace. In conflict, don't shift moods to match the heat. Stay cold. The fire burns itself out. In love, don't swing from need to anger. Stay firm, stay centered. They will orbit around you. Remember the warning. If you are inconsistent, you are forgettable. If you are steady, you become the frame. And once people see you as the anchor, they give up trying to move you. Instead, they adjust themselves to your gravity. Law 10. Control the climate of the room. Most people enter a room and take its temperature. They adjust to the noise, to the tension, to the mood that's already there. That is weakness. Power does the opposite. Power sets the climate. When chaos rises, you bring stillness. Speak slowly, look directly, say less. Everyone recalibrates around you. When the room is dead, you bring one sharp spark, one word, one glance, enough to wake them up. They move toward your energy. Not because you forced it, but because you became the reference point. Apply this everywhere. In work, don't drown in the panic of others. Lower your voice until they follow. In conflict, don't join the shouting. Stay steady. They will feel the weight. In love, when distance grows, break the silence with one deliberate gesture. Not too much. Just enough. Remember the warning. If you follow the room, you belong to it. If you set the room, it belongs to you. Law 11. Withhold approval like a king. Approval is a drug. People crave it more than money, more than comfort, more than truth. Give it freely and it loses weight. Hold it back and it becomes gold. The man who praises too much is ignored. The man who withholds is remembered. Scarcity makes value. Your silence becomes hunger. Your nod becomes reward. Apply it carefully. When someone does what is expected, say nothing. When they exceed, offer a single line. Then withdraw. Private praise builds loyalty. Public silence builds hunger. This mix confuses them, and confusion breeds submission. Make your approval unpredictable. Not on schedule, not for every effort. Let them wonder why. Let them work harder to earn it. Soon you live in their head. Remember the warning. Too much silence breaks the bond. Too much praise breaks the power. The balance is in the ration. Few words, few moments, each one heavy, each one unforgettable. Law 12. Trigger, then guide. Most people stir emotions by accident. You must do it on purpose, with timing, with precision. Because emotion makes people vulnerable. It opens the door for suggestion, for direction, for control. You don't drown them in feeling. You strike once. Then you guide. A small insecurity. A quiet doubt. Let it rise in their chest. Then you offer safety, but only if they follow you. Now security belongs to your hand. A small conflict, a disagreement, a challenge. They tense, they defend, and when you soften, they cling to the relief. The bond deepens. Apply this everywhere. In business, push back once, then agree. They'll feel grateful. In love, step back, let silence bite, then return gently. They'll value you more. Remember the warning, emotion is fire. Too much, it burns the room. Too little, nothing moves. Your role is not to drown in it, but to light just enough and lead them through the smoke. Law 13. Leave the echo. Some people leave and are forgotten. Others leave and the room still feels them. That is the echo. Not noise, not presence, but memory sharpened by emotion. You don't stay long to explain yourself. You leave at the peak, at tension, at revelation. The mind replays what it cannot finish, and each replay makes you larger. This is how echoes are built. A compliment, then silence. A warning, then absence. A story, then retreat. The gap becomes obsession. Apply this everywhere. In business, end the meeting with the strongest line, then walk out. Let them sit in your shadow. In love, don't linger after the moment grows hot. Leave space. Let them ache for your return. In conflict, stop speaking first. The silence will hang, and they will feel your weight more than your words. Remember the warning. Echo works only if you vanish. Stay too long, you dilute it. Disappear too soon, you lose it. The art is in timing. Exit when they want more, and they will carry you long after you're gone. Law 14. Make them dependent. The deepest control is not fear, not even love. It is dependency. When they feel they cannot live steady without you, when their balance leans on your presence, that is the chain no one sees. You don't beg for loyalty. You engineer need. When they feel too much, you calm them. When they feel nothing, you spark them. Over time, they reach for you without thinking. Like breath, like habit, you become the regulator of their inner weather. Apply this with care. Be warm one day, be distant the next. Reward in bursts, withdraw in silence. This rhythm creates addiction, like a slot machine. Unpredictable, unstoppable. In business, let them rely on your judgment when chaos hits. In love, let them crave your validation because you give it rarely. In friendship, be the one who brings energy, then takes it away. Remember the warning, dependency is power. But it cuts both ways. If you overuse it, they collapse, and ruins never serve you. Keep them standing, but leaning, always leaning on you. Law 15. Outlast the storm. Most people are strong only when skies are clear. Their power fades the moment chaos comes. They panic, they break. You don't. You endure, you let the storm scream, you let it beat against you, but you don't move. Silence is your shelter. Patience is your weapon. When others lash out, you wait. When they ghost you, you vanish longer. When they guilt you, you smile with indifference. Time works for you, because storms always pass. And when the dust settles, you are the one still standing. That is how endurance becomes dominance. Apply this everywhere. In business, let rivals burn out in their rush. You stay steady, and the field clears. In love, let emotional tests play out. Don't chase. Don't flinch. They will see you can't be moved. Remember the warning. Never answer emotion with emotion. Answer it with silence, with time, with stillness. Because the one who outlasts every storm is seen as inevitable, and inevitability is the purest form of power. Law 16. Break manipulators with stillness. Not all emotion is weakness. Some use it as a weapon. They cry to dodge blame. They rage to silence you. They flatter to gain entry. And when nothing works, they play the victim. Most people fall for it. You don't. You give them nothing. No reaction, no explanation, no fuel. Their fire dies in your silence. If they accuse you of not caring, don't defend. Ask for facts. Pull them out of drama into logic. They can't breathe there. Your calm becomes their mirror. They see their chaos reflected back, and it crushes them. Apply this everywhere. At work, don't match the tantrum. Stay measured until they collapse in front of others. In love, don't reward tears used as chains. Stay still, and the act ends. With friends, don't chase the guilt trap. Stand silent. They will unravel. Remember the warning. Never fight manipulators on their terms. They win in chaos, they drown in calm. Let your stillness expose their madness, and they will break themselves. Law 17. Never show the depth of your power. Yes, you are disciplined. Yes, you can break people with silence. Yes, you can hold a room with a glance, but never reveal that you know it. Once they see you are strategic, they resist. If they believe it is natural, they obey. So you play innocent. I just like to stay calm. I don't enjoy drama. I prefer to listen. Simple words, nothing sharp, no sign of calculation. They rant, they cry, they over-explain, and they thank you for being steady. They don't see that you're reading them. They don't see you're storing every weakness. Your silence is mystery, and mystery always wins. Apply this carefully. At work, never brag about your composure. Let others call you grounded. In love, never announce your control. Let them feel safe while you remain untouchable. With rivals, never explain your calm. Let them guess. Remember the warning. Power shown creates fear. Power hidden creates loyalty. The strongest rule is the invisible one, and the greatest weapon is the mask of simplicity. Closing period. Emotions will always come, but they are not commands. They are signals, information, noise on the surface. You are the one who chooses the move. The man who masters himself cannot be broken. He doesn't chase, he doesn't beg, he doesn't rush. He waits, he stands, and the world bends to his stillness.